That's my little Margie. I've been both mother and father to her since she was born. She's grown up now, and you think my job's all done, eh? Well, that's what you think. When she was little, I could spank her and make her mind me. I had control over her. I made her eat her spinach, no candy before meals. And when she disobeyed, I took her roller skates away for a week. But what can you do when a girl reaches this age? She's completely out of hand. I've got a problem, believe me. I've got a problem.
That's my father. I've raised him from childhood. That is, my childhood. He's nearly 50 now, and you'd think he'd settle down, wouldn't you? Well, that's what you think. Today, he looks better in shorts on a tennis court than fellas 25. Girls wink at him, and what's worse, he winks back at them. I want a nice, old, comfortable father. I try to look after him, but he just won't settle down. I've got a problem, believe me, I've got a problem. All right, Freddie, forget it.
Margie, you've had some crazy ideas, but this one's the all-time topper. I won't do it.
Look, the main reason my father's against you is because you've never had a good, solid job. All you have to do is get a good, solid job.
All right, Margie, I'm all for it. But why do you want me to ask your father for a job in his office?
Why? How many times has he said you should get into a business like his? Big finance, big future. So it suddenly occurred to me that if my pappy thinks you ought to be in a business like his, why not his for real?
All right, Margie. I'm tired of arguing. I'll ask him. But knowing how he feels about me, may I make a prediction? When I ask him for the job, he'll look at me curiously for a couple of seconds. Then he'll burst into a great big laugh. Well, what do you say, Mr. Albright? You see? What did I tell you?
Dad!
What is it, dear?
Why won't you give Freddie a job?
I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry I laughed, Freddie, but somehow I just can't picture you working around me.
But, Mr. Albright, I've changed a lot since I first started coming around here. I'm a lot more settled and dependable, and I'm not clumsy like I used to be.
Oh, Freddie!
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Albright.
Regarding your question about working in my office and my laughing instead of answering,
yes, sir.
I'm ready to answer. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Okay, then, Mr. Albright. In that case, I'll have to go over your head.
Over my head?
I'll go straight to Mr. Honeywell.
Margie Albright, I forbid you to carry this thing any further.
We'll never get to old Conkle that way, Albright.
Oh, Mr. Honeywell, your game is no better than mine.
Hi.
Oh, hi, honey.
Hello, Margie.
Oh, you've already prepared, Mr. Honeywell.
Margie, regardless of what your father said about Freddie Wilson, I wouldn't hire him anyway.
Well, why not?
Well, not because I dislike him. Let me rephrase that. I do dislike him, but that's not why I won't hire him.
Well, couldn't you... Oh, please, Mr. Honeywell, just give him a chance.
Margie, I'm not running a school. If a boy like your Freddie wants to come here, let him come in with something.
What do you mean?
He means this. Why should Mr. Honeywell invest money in a salary to teach Freddie Wilson the business?
Exactly. Let him dig up some business for us, then we'd be glad to talk to him.
And when you say we've got to teach a man the business, you have no idea how many different angles there are to learn. Right now, we're working on one of our problems.
Yeah, a fellow named Burl Conkle, a big investor. Why, I won't even talk to you unless you're second Bobby Jones.
Mr. Honeywell is only citing an example. He doesn't mean that Freddie should try and get to Mr. Conkle.
Are you crazy, Albright? What chance would Freddie Wilson have of getting to old Conkle?
He hasn't got a chance in the world. Forget about it, Margie. Forget about the whole thing.
Why do you think I asked you over this afternoon? So you could watch television?
I heard every word you said, Margie, but I guarantee you I'm not good enough to play golf with a guy like Burl Conkle.
You know you play better than my father or Mr. Honeywell.
But this guy Conkle's a real bug. Why, his picture's always in the paper with some big-shot golfer. I wouldn't have a chance.
Okay. If you're not worried about getting ahead, why should I worry about it?
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now I, Professor Luigi Santo, present Tony, the world's smartest little dog. Now you watch what Tony does. Tony, I'm going to throw this ball. And when you bring it back, I want you to put it right here. Now we choose a different spot. Tony always places the ball where I tell him. Now, Tony, this time you're going to put the ball right on that table. Go ahead. Go.
Very interesting.
I knew you'd forget that job routine. Now, come on, let's enjoy the show. Hey, what's the idea of turning off the set?
I just had an idea, Freddie. And I know you won't go for it if I tell you what it is, so I won't tell you. But I want you to do me a favor.
I don't like the look on your face. All right, what's on your mind?
Golf, that's all. Just golf. Are you sure it'll work?
Of course it will. But I never had such a funny job in all my years in show business. Did you bring the golf balls as I told you to?
These are the ones Mr. Wilson will use. But how will Tony be able to tell which are which?
Oh, that's simple. Every time Mr. Wilson hits one, little Tony will chase it.
Well, what's that you're putting on them?
Just good old American hamburger.
Aren't you going to give me some more of that confidence in myself routine before I tee off?
You might be better than you think.
All right, come on. That had enough hook on it to hang a house on.
Well, let's see how you did.
Margie, I told you, I hooked it way over there in the rough.
Freddie!
Well, that can't be my ball. It is my ball.
Confidence. What did I tell you?
It's a trick.
Oh, sure, I ran ahead of you and put it there. Oh, let's go home. There's no use wasting time on you. You're as convinced as my father is that you're incapable of accomplishing anything.
No, wait a minute, Margie. Let's finish this hole and try the next one. This is the fourth hole. If it happens again, I'll have to believe it.
Oh, Freddie, I had a feeling this was going to happen.
Guess I'll have to get some better clubs.
Oh, Freddie. Ooh.
Hey, easy on the arm, kid. It isn't insured.
Well, no use playing it out. That last putt of mine put me 4 up with only 3 to go. You lose again. I'm just too good for you, that's all, Conkle.
For 15 years, every time we play, you win.
You sure have done very well, Freddie.
Yeah, I know.
On the green and 1 stroke on every hole so far.
Okay, Margie, I guarantee you I can hear you.
Did you say you can make it in 2?
The 16th hole in 2?
Well, I had a lucky 4 on it once, but 2, impossible. Come on, let's go.
Well, I know it's impossible, but any golfer who even thinks he can make it in 2, this I gotta see.
Okay, I'll see you in the bar. You pay.
Now listen to me. Things have worked out much better than I planned. Don't look now, but the man coming up over there is Burl Conkle, the man Honeywell and Todd and my father would most like you to meet. You take it from there.
It is Burl Conkle. Margie, tell me, is this a trick, or can I play golf the way I think I can?
Confidence, Freddie, confidence.
Excuse the intrusion, but I couldn't help overhearing your conversation. Do you really believe you can play this hole in two?
Well, it seems that way.
Sorry, but I'm afraid you're wrong. My name's Conkle, Burl Conkle.
Oh, of course. We should have recognized you. This is Mr. Wilson of Honeywell and Todd. I'm Margie Albright. My father's Honeywell and Todd's executive vice president.
Well, that's very interesting. It's nice knowing you, Wilson. Do you mind if I watch you play this hole?
Well, of course not.
Huh.
Go get it.
Wilson, you are tremendous. We must play together sometime.
How about tomorrow? A foursome. You and Mr. Wilson could play Mr. Honeywell and my father, Mr. Albright.
Hey, that's a swell idea. What do you say, Mr. Conkle?
Tomorrow it is. And call me Conky for Conkle.
Okay, Conky. And you just call me Freddie.
2 strokes.
Oh, he could make it in one if he really tried. Hi, fellas. Meet your new account exec.
Account exec?
All right, you've got to do something about this.
How are you, Vern?
Vern?
What's new, George?
George.
It's probably my call, Vern. I had our girl place it for me on the way in.
Our girl?
Yes, Betty?
All right, this is the last straw. I bet they fixed things so we'll probably never get to Conkle.
Yes, Conky?
Conky?
Just a second, Conky. I'd like you to meet my associate, Vern Albright. Vern, meet Mr. Conkle.
Hello? Is this Burl Conkle? Glad to meet you, Mr. Conkle. Our date tomorrow?
10 a.m. at the club.
Oh, yes, of course. Huh? Oh, certainly. He wants to speak to the genius again.
Yes, Conky? No, nothing on my mind. I just wanted you to meet Vern. Right. See you tomorrow. Bye, boy. Got a light, Vern?
Yeah.
By the way, Vern, my job hasn't been confirmed yet.
Don't worry about that, boy. I don't know how you did it, but you're hired.
All right, Margie, how did he do it? Or should I say, how did you do it?
Oh, don't credit me, Pappy. There's the boy, and here's his golf score.
Golf score?
Good Pete.
Let's go, Freddie.
Yep, think I'll take the rest of my first day off.
Fine, Freddie, fine.
See you, fellas, tomorrow at 10.
Bye, Dad. Bye, Mr. Honeywell.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, well, I can, and it's something I've been thinking of for a long time. Young blood, that's what it is, all right. Young blood.
Mr. Honeywell, this sounds like one of those kicks that you get on every once in a while.
Oh, kick my Aunt Catherine. In one day, young Freddie Wilson accomplishes what you haven't been able to accomplish in weeks. Young blood, that's what this company needs, young blood. Now, what do you say to that, Albright?
Did I tell you that I went roller skating the other night?
Albright, how long have you been with our company?
How long? Why?
Oh, I was just wondering, that's all. Just wondering.
All right, Freddie. Bye. Dad?
Yes, baby.
Well, what do you say about Freddie now?
I did go roller skating last night. I really did. And I kept up with men in their middle 40s.
Dad, what's wrong?
Oh, this time it isn't just a kick. This time Mr. Honeywell's dead serious. Young blood, he says. That's a new scheme of things. Young blood. A whole staff of Freddie Wilsons.
Well, what's Freddie got to do with it?
Oh, he did what I tried to do and couldn't. I overheard Mr. Honeywell talking to the personnel manager. He said, send me the complete records of all men over 45.
Dad, he wouldn't fire you just because of the way Freddie played golf today.
Oh, the handwriting's on the wall. And tomorrow morning when we finish the 18th hole with Mr. Conkle, I just hope there's a little niche for old weary investment men up there.
Oh, Dad, it wasn't supposed to turn out this way. Dad, stop your worrying.
How can I?
Suppose you played better golf than Freddie tomorrow.
Oh, miracles like that just don't happen, Margie.
I'm sorry, Miss Albright, but I'm much too sick to go out today.
Oh, but you've got to, Professor Sato. You've got to.
Smith, doesn't that boyfriend of yours look like good enough golf player yet, huh?
He looks too good. And today my father's got to look better. Oh, please, Professor Sato, please.
Look, I've got the bug. I'm sick. It's happened to everybody lots of times. But if you gotta have the help of little Tony, why, you take him. And I promise you he'll work just as good for you as for me.
He will?
Sure. Tony, this nice girl who has such crazy ideas, she's gonna be your boss today. What do you say, huh?
Attaboy, Tony. In a little while, you're going to make my father look like the greatest golfer in the world.
Mr. Conkle and Freddie ought to be here any minute. Now remember, all right, we want to make Conkle happy.
I understand, Mr. Honeywell. As bad as I usually play, today I'm to play even worse.
Exactly. The worse you and I look, the better Conkle and Freddie will look. Now, don't forget, today you play the worst game of golf you've ever played. Here they come now.
Now, don't forget, the ball with the hamburger on it.
Well, I guess I'll have to concede this hole. I can't find my ball.
Well, somebody's on. Wonder who it can be.
It's my ball.
What happened?
I don't know, Conky. I mean, Mr. Conkle.
It was an accident, Mr. Honeywell.
Say, what are you, funny or something? 3 straight birdies. What are you trying to do, ruin us?
I don't understand. I hook, I slice, but I'm always on the green.
4!
Hi, Dad. What do you know? Margie, just wanted you to know whom to thank for your success. You'll land on the green every shot.
You're responsible. Oh, you don't understand. I'm supposed to lose today.
Lose?
All right, you're up.
Right away, Mr. Conkle.
Tony. No, Tony, no. Tony, you don't understand.
playing golf. Well, you're all over the place, aren't you?
Margie!
Margie Albright.
Albright? Margie Albright?
I can explain, Mr. Conkle. That is, I think I can explain.
Albright, this is the end of everything.
Oh, Mr. Conkle, let me explain, please. Dad didn't know. This is hamburger. Yesterday I used it to make the dog chase every ball Freddie hit, and today I used it to make my father look good. Only I didn't know until a few minutes ago that you and Freddie were supposed to win, and I've been trying to make my father look bad to make you look good, and oh, please, Mr. Conkle, Dad didn't know anything about it. He didn't have anything to do with it.
Couldn't even be ground round. I had to be stooged for a pound of hamburger.
An idiotic trick. Golfers. Pretty underhanded, if you ask me.
Mr. Conkle,
Shut up! Whatever you were going to say, shut up!
You're fired. Deal with you tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Oh, forget about it, dear. I know you didn't mean any harm. Mr. Honeywell fires me tomorrow. It's not the end of the world. Oh, honey, don't worry about it.
I'll get it, Dad. Mr. Conkle.
Oh, Mr. Conkle.
Hi, Vern.
Vern.
Yes. This is quite some daughter you have. You know, thinking it over, I might be interested in doing a little business with Honeywell and Todd. That is, if Vern Albright handles my account.
Are you serious, Mr. Conkle?
My friends call me Conky for Conco. There's just one condition. I'm playing golf tomorrow morning at 11 with an old friend of mine, Harrison. Charming fellow. He's beat me every time we played for 15 years. Tomorrow, I win. Get the picture, Margie?
Pretty underhanded, if you ask me, Mr. Conkle.
Very underhanded. I'll see you soon, Vern.
Goodbye, Conky.
Oh, by the way, Margie.
Yes?
I think you know what to do with this.
You're doggone right, Mr. Conkle.
What is it?
Pound of hamburger.
Honey, you took an awfully roundabout way, but you sure came through for your old pappy.
Turned out exactly as I planned.